the champions. Champions League, guys. Very excited, very excitable, very joyous, guys. It's now time for me to break it down, break it down, guys. Yeah, Champions League draw last 16. It now gets very exciting. It gets very juicy. Quick question for you guys: who invented this whole two-legged thing with away goals? Because whoever did, I want to put his name in for a Nobel Peace Prize, for the 2017 Nobel Peace Prize, because I feel that he deserves it. It's one of the greatest inventions of all time. Let's break it down. So how this is going to work is that I want to, February 14th, I'm going to build it up. I want to build up from like the okay games to the really big games, so from the games that are, they are all right, on to the games that are really popping off. So I want to end it with the really huge games. So I want to start with Man City against Monaco. For this match, I see this is a good draw for City, but to an extent. Because again, when you think about what the other two English Premiership teams got, we will get to that. City definitely got the right end of the stick. I mean, they got lucky compared to what Arsenal and Leicester got. But at the same time, Monaco are favourites for winning League 1. I understand that Nice are up in there. I don't think Nice can last it, and PSG don't look serious to win it as well. So for Man City, they'll be looking at this and saying, be mindful, be respectful. You are facing perhaps the best team in League 1. So you need to be very wary about what they're going to do, and you need to sort out your defense, because you're playing against a very organized team. And that's why I'm giving City the edge, because if City were playing against a very attacking, direct team, then they'd lose. Monaco aren't really full-on attacking, flamboyant, throwing many men forward. They're just much more of a better, balanced, focused team, so take their chances and they do their thing. So that means they will not really be exploiting City's soft shell. So I'm saying that City should really take that personally. Let's look at Bayer Leverkusen against Atletico. Bad draw for Leverkusen. Again, Atletico, tricky draw for Atletico, because Leverkusen are a very well-coached team. Young side, but they're very well-coached. But for Leverkusen, it's going to be very tough. But what I will say, though, is that Atletico are similar to Leverkusen. They're similar, in the sense of Leverkusen can get in a fight with Atletico. I can really take things down to a physical level playing field and that kind of stuff. So in that sense, I understand where they're coming from. So Atletico should win that. It's going to be tricky, it's going to be hard. And I just think what makes it different is that it's going to be a tight game, only one or two Gs in it. And the thing is that Leverkusen don't have a Carrasco. They don't have a Saul. They don't have these kinds of individual players who can do something. Remember the goal that Saul scored last season. Remember the goal that Carrasco scored. But really, no, the goal that Saul scored last season against Barcelona, that goal was off the chain. So I say Atletico should take that. FC Porto, Juventus. Good draw for Juventus. This is a good draw for Juventus. FC Porto keep giving it up. And they keep saying, hey, man, there you go, take all of our best players, and they hardly keep any of the good players. So, similar to a prostitute, Juventus should take the game again. They shouldn't be overconfident. They should be respectful of the FC Porto, but at the end of the day, as respectful as they can be. If you've got Higuain and Dybala playing, Juventus home and away should sort it out. 100% they should sort it out. They should not really run into any problems or issues whatsoever. If they do what they do, they're on point tactically. Simple. I see no issues for Juventus whatsoever against FC Porto. Hope you don't do that. Okay, let's Real Madrid against Napoli. Real Madrid, good draw. Good draw for Real Madrid. They could have had Bayern. Napoli You see, Napoli with Milik, this would be interesting. I'd still side with Real Madrid, but it would be at least more interesting. With no Milik, Napoli don't stand a chance. Yeah, they may have a few chances here and there, a few opportunities, but I think Ramos and Varane will be able to sort out any kind of attacking threats that Napoli pose at them. And for that Napoli defense, you're seeing how shaky that they've been, and knowing that that's very, very resolute. And Bill should be back come February, and you're seeing what Morales is doing. I I am expecting Madrid to win both legs. So yeah, then I see Madrid winning both at the Bernabeu and at Naples. So I think they'll really sort them out. So yeah, Madrid, very simple. ABC 1-3 victory for them. Um, I'll build up to that. Let's look at Sevilla Juventus. No, so yeah, Sevilla Leicester. Leicester City, this is where it ends. Sevilla could baptize Leicester. I mean, over two legs, I think they could baptize them. Sevilla are a very good team. They've got one of the best on the down low coaches out there in Sampaoli, bringing what he did with Chile to Sevilla. I mean, Leicester will get slacked in Seville. I mean, they'll get slacked up. I mean, they'll open up the other defense. They'll completely destroy them. And I think Sevilla in Leicester will actually beat them as well. So Leicester, they're not ready for this. They're not built for this. I think Sevilla are a team they're on point. They know what they're doing. They play very quickly. They're very technical. They move the ball around with speed, one touch. That kind of intensity. Morgan and Huth, who are not the quickest defenders on your feet, they're going to get ramsacked, and they'll not be able to cope with the kind of ball movement that Sevilla will be doing against them. So at the end of the day, Leicester, I 1000%, I don't see them beating Sevilla. So Sevilla will get them. Bad draw for Leicester. I mean, they could have gotten someone else, but again, unlucky. They just had a really bad draw there. Benfica Dortmund. Now, a guy on Twitter said to me that Dortmund have never lost to the Bavarians have never, the BVB have never lost to a Portuguese team. This is not a nice draw for Dortmund, because again, you see, I always look at matchups. Dortmund are very good against really attacking teams that will give them space. Benfica aren't that. You see, Benfica are like an Atletico or like a Monaco, where they're very balanced and they're very resolute. And I think as well, Benfica will not give Dortmund that kind of space. So this makes this game slightly complicated, because for Dortmund, against teams that are very defensive and organized, Dortmund struggle. Dortmund are not very good at breaking teams down and having to play in front of the defense. They are excellent when a team presses and they cannot get behind them and use the kind of speed of Macarois and Aubameyang. So again, it's not something for Tuchel to work on. You have to be able to beat teams that have various defensive setups. But I will say Dortmund will edge it. I will say this will be difficult for them. They will concede. This will be yo-yo. I think this will be a very exciting set of two matches. But Aubameyang will pull through. They will get the goals to pull them through. But again, it's going to be close. Benfica will run them close. But yeah, that's going to be a very close game. I'll be a very, very close game. So it's not the greatest draw for Dortmund, So I've done Porto, Bayer Leverkusen, Atletico. I mean, how many times must PSG play Barcelona? How many times? How many times must this happen? So yet again, PSG are playing Barcelona. You see, on face value, I say Barcelona are going to win this. And you know what? I will still say that Barcelona will win this. I've got to be real. Because I was trying to come at a different angle, saying, okay, PSG are not going to win League On, but I believe in the Champions League. Emery will get it right and everything. They drew against Ludogorets. Yes, I do mean offense. They drew against Ludogorets at home. That's not really the best frame of mind to be coming up against Barcelona. Even the way Barcelona have been playing, that front line are gonna slack down. They're gonna shake it down Thiago Silva and his boys. And I was watching the game against Nice, man. You do that defensive crap against Barcelona, you will get burnt. You will get burnt. So I don't actually. That's the thing. I don't think this game is as much of a marquee game as it should be, because PSG have been very disappointing and Emery hasn't really figured them out. Yeah, he knows Barcelona, but he hasn't figured out what he wants from his PSG team. And even if Luis Enrique is just a coach from the road, I think see, this is a match in which the individuals will just make the difference. You don't actually need to do a lot of coaching. Like Messi, Neymar, and Cannibal, they will be the difference, and they'll just make it happen. And Iniesta as well. Through their individual quality, they'll get the goals needed to beat PSG. So, yeah, I think and I believe they could actually beat them twice. You know what? No, I say they'll probably draw 2-2 in Paris, and they'll lubricate them at the new camp. So, yeah, actually, I think that's actually pretty straightforward win for Barcelona. And now we come to the main events. I thought it would be Arsenal Real Madrid. Arsene Jeremiah Wenger, I believe you have now been given your priority for the season. Your priority for the season is now the Premier League. Stop all the press. Forget about any dreams of what you could do in the Champions League. Arsenal are going out. Because the mistake that Arsenal fans will make is they lost to Rostov. Oh, Ancelotti, they're looking a bit shaky. Oh, this is not them, Bayern. No, we can get them. They're not the same Bayern from before. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think Bayern Munich have a nuclear device from Poland. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think they've got a Dutch sniper. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think they've got a guy who used to travel by boat via Jujuman, called Renato Sanchez. Correct me if I'm wrong, I think they've got Matt Hummels. Correct me if I'm wrong, I think they've got the Berlin Wall. It doesn't matter. And correct me if I'm wrong, I think they've also got Bart Simpson. It doesn't matter what Bayern are doing or anything. The kind of killers, as in contract killers on the team, Bayern Munich will beat Arsenal. Arsenal have about a 6% chance of beating Bayern Munich. It's something, but it's still 6%. So that's a 94% chance of Bayern Munich winning. Arsenal, they're not winning this game. Arsenal now have the answer. Focus on the Premier League. Focus on winning that Premier League. Forget about the Champions League. I say put out a B team, because there's just no point. There's no point in risking an injury to Alexis or Ozil. Arsenal are not beating Bayern Munich. That's not happening. And as for Bayern, in their thought, they're like, this is a good draw. Because again, for Bayern, they could have had Real Madrid, which would have been, sorry. They could have had like a Barcelona, which would have been very tricky. For Arsenal, I say for Bayern, like, you know what, this, we can live with this. We can definitely live with this. So yeah, that's how it is. So I think really the match of the round, I think Benfica Dortmund will be very interesting. But I think Benfica are an alright team. So I think what will be provide the most exciting. I think Leverkusen Atletico will be tactically interesting. But what I feel will be the most exciting, action-packed round, I think will be it's hard. You know what? As crazy as it sounds, I think Bayern Arsenal will be the most exciting game. Because I think, remember, this is an Ancelotti Bayern who are different. Who play a lot more freer. We know how Arsenal play. So even if I believe Arsenal will go, then I think there are going to be a lot of goals in those games. So yes, I think Bayern Arsenal will provide the most excitement over those two legs. Guys, it's been swell. We'll be having a hangout on Wednesday to look back at this Champions League and all that kind of stuff. Talking Tactics, new Talking Tactics will be coming up this week. Remember to subscribe. Click there to subscribe to the channel for the best football analysis. Peace out, stay true, stay black.